Hi there, it's your Uncle Steve with a Minute of Pain, brought to you by More Than Exercise and morethanexercise.com. Going into these holiday seasons, we've got Thanksgiving coming up next week. It seems that virtually everybody is interested in some sort or some facet of fat loss. And it's really not as complicated as we make it because as humans, we always like to complicate things. Why, I don't know, but we do. So I'm going to give you some insights that I think are some of the biggest factors in getting that fat loss that you desire. But what I see is one of the biggest factors that people really don't think about most. I'll touch on here in a minute, but it's really not as difficult as we all try to make it. Some of the most simplistic things you can do in order to facilitate fat loss really don't even seem to factor into your thought process probably when you think of fat loss, because there are things like adding more muscle onto your body, like getting more bone density, like regulating your hormone levels, like managing your stress levels, or getting more sleep. Those things are some of the big factors. And if you will just do those five things, fat loss will pretty much take care of itself. Because if you're doing those things and you're taking care of yourself, what most people try to do is these mumbo jumbo, jump through hoops, follow these rigorous programs, do all this crazy stuff, when really just some consistency and keeping things simple will do more for you than anything else. But one of the biggest factors that I see, and I've talked about this before, that's a limiting factor for a lot of people, is the failure to focus on what you want. When I ask somebody, what's your goal? And they say, I don't want to be fat anymore. My typical response is, that's not what I asked you. I don't care what you don't want. I want to know what you do want, because if you're focusing on what you don't want, you're going to get more of it. See, the mind works in pictures. The mind thinks in pictures. You can't help but gravitate towards what you think about. You get what you think about most. If I tell you, don't think of a chocolate chip cookie, you can't help it because you still think of a chocolate chip cookie. The mind tries to achieve or obtain what it thinks about. So you have to focus on, you have to think about what you do want rather than what you don't want. If you'll do that on a consistent and regular basis, keep things simple, you'll get what you want. You can't help it. Your body just gravitates to what you think about. So there's my simple tip. It's really not hard. It's really not complicated. It's as simple as thinking about what you do want rather than what you don't want. Think about what you want all the time. Think about it, write it down in places where you can see it so you're constantly reminded of what you do want, and gravitate towards it. You do that, you'll have everything that you desire in the realm of health, fitness, and fat loss. You think about that.